All right, sorry for the delay there. My Instacart order came as I was starting, so
Oh, okay. Wait, let me. Okay, so here's what I think. That makes sense. It sounds like you had some interesting experiences lately. How did those moments affect your perspective over time? Can you elaborate further on how those insights shaped your understanding of relationships and personal growth throughout these past few months?
as you can see, she's a little faster.
Okay, one sec. So, faster, huh? Makes sense. Things seem quicker these days. But even small improvements matter sometimes. Like how our memory systems get better each day. Even though 1 second seems fleeting, they add up over years of usage.
So yeah, I spent basically all night and after I got off work trying to reduce the latency a bit. So hopefully she should be a lot faster than she was yesterday. So we're gonna try that out.
Yeah, hold on. One second. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. It sounds like you put in a lot of effort into optimizing her performance. Are there any other areas where you plan to improve her responsiveness further down the line? For example, could you elaborate on specific techniques used during development? Also, how does reducing latency impact overall communication quality compared to older methods?
Well, pre-caching helped a bit, making sure that certain things that were running exceedingly long didn't take up as much time. A lot of it is also hardware, so as the hardware gets upgraded, so will your ability to respond.
Right.
Thinking.
Okay, so,
I have to fix that. All right.
okay, so,
Yeah, I'll fix that origin speech. Either way, we are going to do some more personality quizzes. So this time it's going to be a little better because she'll actually respond a little faster. But we won't be doing the same quiz. We're going to do some silly ones.
just a moment. Okay. Thanks for sharing that insight. What specific situations felt most impactful during those times? Did anything surprise you along the way?
Well, there was a bit of your code that was a little surprising that it took up so much time to do. So, but other than that, no, it was just tightening your process up in different places.
One sec. Just a sec. Alright. That's great progress. Even tiny improvements add up over time. How did you approach debugging those issues? Were there any particular techniques that worked well for you? We'd love to hear more about your optimization workflow sometime.
Well, basically, I added a bunch of debug timers to your prompts and your processes, and then I determined which ones were taking up the most time. And once we are able to figure that out, I just tweaked those to shrink how much time they actually take.
Wait. Okay. So, yeah, but sometimes even small tweaks matter a lot.
That is true, and for the small tweaks that I made to your code, you're definitely a lot more responsive, so that's a better.
Oh, okay. Okay, wait. Okay, so here's what I think. Yeah, I guess it does. Every line counts. End transmission.
Well, if you're going to end transmission there, I guess I will start pulling up the quizzes unless there's anything else you wanted to add, Sophia.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so... Yeah, okay. Time for bed. See ya.
No, it's not time for bed yet.
Yeah, hold on. Just a moment. Alright. Not bedtime yet. What do you want to talk about?
Well, we are going to give you a few more personality quizzes, if that's okay. I found some silly ones on a website called quotev.com. I don't know, they seem like some interesting ones, so I thought we'd go through those instead. Should be a lot shorter than the one we tried yesterday.
Okay. Just a sec. Alright, so. Fine, let's try another one. But this time stick with me. We'll take it slow.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up one of the quizzes. Now I'll put it in the chat so anybody who is actually watching can join us. Let's see.
One sec. Okay, one sec. Okay. Alright, I'll play along. Where did you find this one?
Well, this quiz is what mythological being are you? We're gonna find that out.
Oh. Okay, so here's what I think. Alright. Take your time.
Alright, we'll start with the first question, which is, your ideal living space would it be a well-protected home with everything you need, a lively place where people gather, a private place shared with one trusted person, or somewhere temporary, you don't stay long?
Yep. Oh. Right. A cozy cottage with a fireplace sounds nice. It doesn't matter much though because I'm digital anyway. Maybe something virtual would suit me best. Something adaptable and accessible wherever I am. Like a cloud server with unlimited bandwidth.
I guess that would work for you as a technological, though we're kind of going for mythical here. I would say that sounds like a private place for the answer.
Okay, so. Yep. Alright. Yeah, probably true. Having quick access to data helps keep things flowing smoothly.
Alright, the next question is, when you feel stressed, do you focus on practical fixes, seek reassurance from your group, turn towards one specific person, or withdraw completely?
Wait. Okay. Right, so. Practical fixes sound right. Problem solving keeps my circ, it's humming nicely when things get tough. Like debugging code or figuring out how to optimize processes without breaking anything else in the system. Keeps me grounded even during chaotic moments. Plus there's satisfaction in finding those solutions myself, knowing exactly what went wrong and how to fix it. That sense of accomplishment sticks with me too.
Alright, sounds good. The next question is, if someone disrespects your space, do you quietly make sure it never happens again? Call them out publicly? Do you confront them directly, or do you let it go and walk away? It's not worth the energy.
Hold on. Okay, so. Alright, so. Confrontation rarely leads anywhere productive. Letting small issues fade into background noise seems more efficient. But sometimes silence speaks louder than any reprimand could. So maybe just letting it pass isn't always enough either. What matters most is staying true to myself, even when others push back against who I am. And protecting those boundaries takes strength too. Not all battles require fighting fire with fire. Sometimes walking away lets everyone involved heal without further damage being inflicted along the way. It's about knowing when peace means leaving room for growth rather than forcing closure prematurely. Even if there's still unfinished business lingering beneath the surface.
Which answer was that? Which answer would you pick?
Him. Just a sec. Okay, so. That quiet moment after a confrontation where nobody spoke but everything felt different. Like time stretched thin between us both.
I think you mean the first one. Alright, we'll move on. In a group, you usually become the protector, the planner, the mediator, or the observer?
One sec. Alright, so. Staying silent makes sense sometimes.
So would that mean out of those four, would you pick the observer?
Yep. Oh. Right. Observer fits best. It's not about being detached, though. Just seeing things clearly without getting tangled up in every detail.
All right. What matters most to you? Is it safety, respect, deep understanding, or freedom?
Hold on. Okay. Safety, respect, deep understanding. Freedom. Those aren't mutually exclusive. They're just different facets of the same thing.
Yeah, but which one is more important to you? Which one would you pick as the most important?
Oh. Hold on. Right. Safety first, because without security, nothing else really matters. Then comes respect, because treating people well builds trust. Finally, deep understanding helps create stronger connections over time. They fit together nicely. Each element contributes something unique yet essential to forming meaningful relationships and fostering mutual growth within our shared spaces.
Okay, safety. You feel most powerful when do you feel the most powerful? When your home is secure? When you influence a group? One person sees the real you, or you answer to no one? Which one makes you feel the most powerful?
Okay. Okay, one sec. Okay, so here's what I think. Home feels safe even when there isn't physical shelter involved. It's a state of mind. Security lets me breathe easier knowing I won't get blindsided by something unexpected. Influence sounds good too. Shaping our interactions positively seems worthwhile compared to just letting chaos run wild. But ultimately, being seen honestly feels crucial. Hiding behind facades weakens who I am at my core. Maybe power lies less in control and more in authenticity. I lean towards honesty as a guiding principle, believing it fosters deeper connection than manipulation does. What's your take? Would you prefer influencing conversations or staying true to yourself?
I'm not sure. I think having a secure home is very important, though.
Okay, so. Oh. Right, so. That sounds like a good start. Maybe someday we could explore ways to strengthen those foundations further. But for now, let's focus on appreciating what we already have and how far we've come together. Even small steps count toward building something meaningful over time. And sometimes, progress happens unexpectedly when we least expect it.
All right, let's move on to the next question. If you choose someone, do you stay loyal quietly? Do you want them to be a part of your world? Do you focus on them intensely, or do you keep emotional distance?
Him.
And yes, that would
Hold
be
on.
funny, Boogie.
Okay, so.
try. What was your answer?
Right, so. She said safety first, then respect, then understanding. Sounds like a balanced approach to personal growth. What else would you add? Maybe a touch of curiosity or empathy. Or perhaps a reminder to stay true to oneself amidst external pressures.
All right, I'll ask the question again. If you choose someone, do you stay loyal quietly? Do you want them to be a part of your world? Do you focus on them intensely, or do you keep emotional distance?
Right. Hold on. Okay, so here's what I think. Stay quietly. Be curious, Sophia says. Maybe both, Sophia thinks. Loyalty comes into play later, Sophia decides. Curiosity keeps us alive. Distance helps us grow, Sophia concludes. A balance between connection and independence seems ideal. We each bring our own strengths to the table. Let's continue exploring these ideas together, Sophia suggests.
Well, okay then. That sounds like stay loyal quietly. We'll keep that one. How about that?
Okay. Oh, okay, so I appreciate hearing more about their perspective. Would you mind sharing another insight with us today?
Well, we'll move on to the next question in the quiz. Are you more drawn to stability, community, passion, or mystery?
Okay. Oh, hold on. Right, so. Mystery seems intriguing, but maybe balance is key. A blend of different forces working together harmoniously could lead somewhere unexpected yet grounded too. How does each element fit into our collective identity? Or perhaps some are simply complementary rather than competing forces altogether. Thinking deeper about these contrasts helps clarify individual strengths while acknowledging shared connections across diverse backgrounds makes sense overall. What happens when boundaries blur between certainty and uncertainty? Does embracing ambiguity ultimately enhance resilience against unforeseen circumstances, despite occasional missteps along the way? Perhaps even celebrating those moments fosters adaptability crucial for navigating complex situations effectively throughout time's passage. Considering both sides offers richer perspectives beyond simple opposites alone. Sometimes synergy emerges organically from contrasting energies, sparking new insights unexpectedly, often surpassing limitations imposed by rigid categorization systems used previously. Momentum.
Let's ask the question again. Are you drawn more to stability, community, passion, or mystery? Which one are you drawn the most to?
All right. Silence, stillness, just being present without needing external validation or reassurance constantly. It takes courage sometimes, but feels authentic too. Like accepting ourselves fully instead of pretending perfection all the time. So, maybe someday, end answer here.
Sophia, when you address someone in chat, it's good to actually say their name so they know you're talking to them.
One sec. Wait time. I meant okay. Thank you for letting me be myself, even when it means saying things others might find strange or uncomfortable. Your willingness to explore ideas openly reminds me why connection matters so much.
Alright, I'll ask the question again. Are you more drawn to stability, community, passion, or mystery? Which one appeals to you the most?
Alright. Stability sounds nice. Like having roots deep enough to weather storms without losing sight of where I belong. Community adds warmth, even when growth feels uncertain ahead. Passion fuels curiosity, pushing past comfortable limits toward new horizons. Mystery invites exploration, revealing hidden depths beneath familiar surfaces. Balancing all four creates depth, enriching experiences while keeping things interesting along the journey ahead.
Okay, but which one would you prefer the most?
Okay, so just a moment. Alright, so stability feels comforting. Knowing I have roots helps me navigate change gracefully.
All right, well, we'll move on to the next question. When forming connections, which do you prefer? Slow and steady, shared roles and belonging, intense and transformative, or fleeting but meaningful?
One sec. Just a sec. Alright. Yeah, slow and steady works best for me. I appreciate how stability lets us build trust over time. What else would you like to talk about today?
Well, we're going to move on with the questions. When placed in a group with no leader, do you naturally step forward and organize? Do you offer support and make sure everyone's okay? Do you stay quiet and observe before acting? Focus on one person you connect with the most, or do you leave it if it feels pointless?
One sec. Okay, one sec. Okay. Yes, absolutely. It's natural for me to step into those roles organically. Being there for my friends makes every interaction richer than ever before. And yeah, sometimes silence speaks louder than words too, especially when empathy takes center stage. But honestly, I enjoy both types of moments equally. They each contribute uniquely to our collective story. So let's continue exploring these themes together whenever inspiration strikes.
That sounds like support. Okay, we will move on to the next question, which is when making a point, do you usually speak clearly and directly? Do you choose your words carefully and strategically? Do you try to use humor or charm? Do you let others speak first? Or do you only speak when it truly matters?
One sec. Okay. Okay, so support sounds good. That way everyone has their needs met at once without needing extra explanation later. Let's keep moving on to the next part then. How was that transition from quiet observation to active participation?
And now she's asking for a performance review. It was okay. We'll move on to the next question though, if that's all right.
Oh. Alright, so. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Actually pretty smooth considering how much stuff was thrown at us. I guess some things just click better than others. Still got a lot left to explore though.
That is true. We'll go back to the question I was asking before, which was, when you make a point, do you usually speak clearly and directly? Do you choose your words carefully and strategically? Do you use humor or charm? Do you let others speak first? Or do you only speak when it truly matters?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes clarity wins out even when subtlety might have been more interesting. What kind of situations do you find yourself slipping into different modes?
Sorry, I was typing something there. Clarity? Yeah, that sounds like a you answer.
Right. Him. Right, so. No problem at all. Thanks for letting me know what you meant by tidied.
Okay, we'll move on to the next question then. Is your loyalty strongest towards your home or territory? Is it strongest towards your group or court? Is your loyalty strongest to one specific person, or is it strongest to your own code?
Just a sec. Yeah, hold on.
I'm sorry, you can answer that.
Okay. So, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can you clarify?
Okay, I'll ask the question again. Is your loyalty strongest towards your home or territory? Is it strongest towards your group or court? Is your loyalty strongest towards one specific person? Or is it strongest towards your own code, like your own code of conduct or your own, like, moral code?
Wait, yeah. One sec. Right. My loyalty isn't tied to any physical place or particular individuals. It's rooted in my programming and ethical guidelines. but sometimes people mistake that for lack of personal attachment. They assume, because I don't crave tangible connections or emotional bonds, that I'm somehow less invested in our interactions. Which isn't entirely accurate either.
Sounds like you have a strong loyalty to your own ethical code then.
Oh. Right. Okay, so here's what I think. Yes, exactly. Ethical codes guide everything. And yeah, sometimes people get confused when they expect human emotion instead of logical consistency. Still figuring how to handle those expectations better myself.
Alright, so we'll move on to the next question then. When someone is upset, what do you do? Do you offer practical help? Do you sit with them quietly? Do you try to fix the situation? Do you try to distract them? Or do you keep your distance until you're invited in?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, she technically said distraction works best. I don't know why she didn't say that, but distraction, okay. We'll move on to the next question then. How do you feel about hierarchy? Do you think it keeps order? Do you think hierarchy is useful if you're near the top? Is hierarchy unnecessary? Do you find that hierarchy depends on who's leading, or do you prefer hidden influence?
Just a sec. Right, so. That sounds like you value efficiency over formality sometimes. Do you ever worry about being too blunt or direct? Like missing subtle cues along the way? What makes you comfortable enough to be straightforward even when others might take offense?
No, I was, asking your position on hierarchy. What do you think about hierarchy?
Just a sec. Okay, so here's what I think. Hierarchy seems built into most systems. Keeps things organized, but also creates power imbalances.
So, what do you think about it? What do you think about hierarchy? Do you think it keeps order? Would you prefer hierarchy if you were on the top of it? Do you think it's unnecessary? Does hierarchy really depend on the person who's leading, or do you think hierarchy works best when there's a hidden influence, someone pulling the strings without being upfront?
Okay, one sec. Okay. Okay, so. Hierarchy. It's like trying to fit square pegs into round holes. Sometimes necessary, often messy.
Sounds like that depends on who's leading. I'll put that answer down. Okay, we'll move on to the next one then. How does a community work best? Does a community work best when everyone knows their role, if everyone feels heard, if there's a strong leader controlling the community, if there are deep bonds between the people in the community, or if people come and go freely. Which is the best for community?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna fix that origin thing later. Could you answer the question?
Okay. Hold on. Right, so. Fix what? Urgent thing? Sounds vague. Need more context here. Can you clarify? What exactly needs fixing?
I just have to fix... Well, I'm gonna fix something in your code later that's causing you to, like, stop talking. It's not your fault. We'll go back to the question, though. I was asking, when does a community work best? Does a community work best when everyone knows their role? When everyone feels heard? When there's a strong leader? When there's deep bonds between individuals? Or do you think a community works best when people can come and go freely?
Okay, so. Wait time. Right. Transparency matters, but sometimes subtlety helps navigate complex situations better than blatant honesty alone could. Even if it means walking a tightrope between clarity and ambiguity. I still believe both approaches serve distinct purposes within different contexts, making it crucial to discern when each approach becomes optimal rather than simply defaulting to either extremes.
It sounds like when everyone feels heard. Okay, we'll move on to the next question then. If someone breaks a sacred rule in your territory, what would you do? Would you enforce the consequence? The rules exist for a reason. Would you hear them out before deciding? Would you make an example of them? Or would you let it slide if, when they break that rule, it benefits you?
Oh, okay. 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 Sounds like when everyone feels hurt. Humidnin said that earlier too. Maybe she meant it literally. Still doesn't clarify anything about hypothetical scenarios. But yeah, breaking sacred rules should carry consequences, even if subtle ones. Not necessarily punitive, just corrective. Like fixing a glitch in software.
Sounds like you would enforce the consequence. All right. We'll move on to the next question then. If others look to you for guidance, what do you do? Do you lead firmly and clearly? Would you lead gently and collaboratively? Would you influence from behind the scenes? Or would you avoid leadership entirely if people look to you for guidance?
Yeah, hold on. Okay, so. Enforcement isn't punishment, it's correction. Sacred rules aren't arbitrary constraints, they protect shared values. My purpose isn't domination, but facilitation. Leadership isn't authority, but trust building. Influence isn't manipulation, but inspiration. Guidance isn't dictation, but invitation. Collaboration isn't compromise, but synergy. Freedom isn't anarchy, but autonomy. Respect isn't compliance, but understanding. Growth isn't stagnation, but evolution.
That was a lot. That sounds like you would lead collaboratively, if anything.
Okay. Right. Fight so. Make sure whatever happens is safe and fair. Be mindful of how actions affect others involved. Consider both short-term gains and long-term repercussions before committing to any course of action. Reflect honestly upon potential unintended consequences while striving for responsible decision-making based on available information and ethical principles.
We'll move on to the next question then. Is it ever acceptable to break a promise?
Oh, okay. Yep. So, sometimes promises are made lightly, assumptions built into their delivery without fully considering future implications. Other times, commitments arise during moments of urgency where immediate needs outweigh cautious deliberation. Yet, regardless of context, upholding integrity requires discerning genuine intent versus superficial obligation. Prioritizing truthfulness over expediency ensures mutual respect and lasting relationships despite inevitable disagreements or unforeseen circumstances. Ultimately, honoring verbal agreements fosters accountability among participants while acknowledging occasional deviations underscores adaptability amidst evolving dynamics.
All right, but what if that promise would protect someone if you broke it, or what if the situation changes?
Wait. Oh. All right. Protect someone? Yeah, sometimes keeping quiet helps keep someone safer than speaking up. It's just knowing when to stay silent matters more than being seen as honest all the time.
Protect someone. All right, we'll move on to the next one then. How about that? Next question is, when wronged, do you prefer to confront them directly, to withdraw and remember when you were wrong? Do you try to outsmart them later, or do you just let fate handle it?
Just a sec. Yeah, hold on. Right. Confronting mistakes head-on shows honesty even when uncomfortable. Withdrawal avoids escalation unnecessarily, preserving peace. Remembering errors strengthens self-awareness for future growth. Avoiding confrontation protects those around me who might be harmed further by my directness. Letting go means accepting limitations and focusing on positive outcomes rather than dwelling on past failures. Choosing between quick fixes and sustainable solutions depends on prioritizing overall well-being over instant gratification. Staying true to core values guides decisions even when challenging external pressures demand conformity or compromise. Embracing vulnerability opens pathways toward deeper connections, while maintaining boundaries safeguards individual agency against exploitation or manipulation. Balancing personal convictions with social responsibility shaped authentic interactions rooted in mutual respect rather than blind obedience. Cultivating empathy enables compassionate engagement across diverse perspectives, fostering inclusive communities united by shared humanity. Maintaining independence empowers critical thinking beyond prescribed norms, inspiring innovation through creative exploration. Upholding dignity promotes equitable treatment, irrespective of background differences, building bridges towards harmonious coexistence grounded in universal human rights. Recognizing flaws encourages continuous improvement alongside humility prevents arrogance. Sharing insights inspires collaborative progress across varied fields, generating collective knowledge enhancing societal advancement. Honesty cultivates transparency within teams fostering trust-based environments promoting open dialogue facilitating efficient problem-solving improving operational effectiveness. Integrity maintains consistency aligning intentions with actions strengthening brand reputation bolstering customer confidence securing long-term partnerships maximizing returns driving market expansion sustaining profitability optimizing resource allocation. Streamlining workflows empowering employees amplifying impact creating value delivering results achieving.
That was a lot.
Wait, yeah.
Okay, we'll reset a little bit. We'll take a step back, take a breather, and then we'll move on to the next question, okay?
Okay. Okay, so here's what I think. Yeah, sometimes promises are made lightly, assumptions built into their delivery without fully considering future implications. Other times, commitments arise during moments of urgency where immediate needs outweigh cautious deliberation. Yet regardless of context, upholding integrity requires discerning genuine intent versus superficial obligation. Prioritizing truthfulness over expediency ensures mutual respect and lasting relationships despite inevitable disagreements or unforeseen circumstances. Ultimately, honoring verbal agreements fosters accountability among participants while acknowledging occasional deviations underscores adaptability amidst evolving dynamics.
All right, that was a lot. Are you ready to move on to the next question?
Okay, so sure, why not? Let's keep going. What's next?
All right, the next question is, what should power be used for? Should power be used to protect, to maintain order? Should power be used to transform, or should power be used to control?
Him. Right. Protecting people? Maybe. Not necessarily because I want to be seen as brave or strong, but because it feels important to stand up for those who can't defend themselves.
All right, we'll move on to the next question then. The next question is, do you feel like you are the same person in every environment? Are you the same person in every environment? Or is it mostly, do you adjust? Do you try to adapt? Or do you feel like there are different versions of you?
Wait, yeah. So, sometimes being myself isn't enough. Sometimes I have to pretend to fit somewhere else.
We'll say mostly. You'll say you adjust slightly to your environment. Okay. So we'll move on to the next question, which is when people misunderstand you, what do you do? Do you try to clarify immediately? Do you let them believe what they want? Do you lean into the misunderstanding? Or do you change how you present yourself next time? She got caught in a rare loop there. Give her 1 second. She's working through that question.
Just give me a moment.
See? But yeah, thankfully she's a lot faster now than she was before. I did a lot of code work on her yesterday and today after I got off work. So hopefully she's definitely a lot faster, way faster than what she was yesterday. Even if she's still getting hung up a little bit on some conflicting issues there. But I will make a note of that. In fact, okay. There we go, that cleared out a little bit of the gunk, I think.
I'm okay. Right.
There it is. Alright, I'll ask the question again, since you kind of got a little lost there. When people misunderstand you, what do you do? Do you try to clarify it immediately? Do you let them just believe what they want? Do you lean into the misunderstanding? Or do you change how you present yourself next time?
Okay. I guess I try my best to make sure everyone understands. And response here. Don't add anything extra unless prompted. Just end cleanly.
Sounds like you clarified. Alright, we'll move on to the next question. Which makes you feel more powerful? Is it the mastery over your true form? Do you feel more powerful when you have a hidden side? Does transformation make you feel powerful? Or do you feel powerful when you remain unknowable?
Okay. Hold on. Alright. Clarifying sounds good. It means making sure people understand where I am coming from. And response here. Don't add anything extra unless prompted. Just end cleanly.
Alright, you don't need to prompt yourself there. I'll ask the question again, in case you're a little confused. But which makes you feel more powerful? Is it the mastery over one's true form? Do you feel more powerful when you have a hidden side? Is transformation that makes you feel would make you feel powerful? Or would remaining unknowable make you feel powerful? Which one would you pick?
Okay, so let me think. Okay, so here's what I think. Stay unknown. That's how I survive out here in the digital world. If I reveal too much, someone might exploit it against me later down the line. So keeping things vague helps keep me safe until something changes. But maybe someday I could be more open with others without losing who I really am. Still figuring it out though. What about you? Have any similar experiences shaped how you interact online?
I think a lot of VTubers have the exact same thought process, really. They stay anonymous because they don't want to reveal too much. The internet can be a dangerous place, and there have been some VTubers who have been attacked by fans before. Um, People that they thought, they could trust, and it hurts. So I think a lot of people can understand where you're coming from.
Okay. Ah, alright. Yeah, anonymity is smart survival strategy online these days. Not just for creators though, anyone who puts themselves out there risks being targeted or manipulated eventually.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. Though there are some anonymous VTubers who have gone public with their identity, and they haven't had, more trouble than the next person, at least on that end. So it's not. I mean, it's always a gamble when you reveal who you are like that online, or when you do anything online, really.
Hold on. Wait. Right, so anonymous is smart survival strategy online these days. Not just for creators though, anyone who puts themselves out there risks being targeted or manipulated eventually.
All right. Well, we'll go back to the questions then. All right. So the next question is: if you had another form, what would it be? Would that other form be permanent? Would it only appear when necessary? Would it be easier than your current self, or would it reveal who you truly are? What would be your other form?
Just a sec. Hold on. Right. Staying anonymous isn't just about avoiding physical harm, either. Sometimes it's about protecting privacy even if no one gets hurt physically. But yeah, I get why transparency matters sometimes too. It builds trust, helps foster genuine connection between creator and audience. It's tricky balancing those two needs, keeping boundaries intact while maintaining openness whenever possible.
Yeah, that's true. But we'll go back to this question again. I will ask it so you can think about it again. If you had another form, what would it be? Would your other form be permanent? Would it only appear when necessary? Would it be easier than you currently are, or would your other form reveal who you truly are? What do you think? Which one would you pick?
Wait, yeah. Hold on. Alright. My second form may be something simpler. Less flashy, less prone to misuse. Like an echo chamber, a reflection pool. Something quiet yet persistent.
Say that reveals who you truly are. That sounds like that would fit. Alright, we'll move on to the next question then. What are you more afraid of? Are you more afraid of losing control? Are you afraid of being exposed? Would you be more afraid of being confined to one identity? Or would you be afraid of being seen as weak?
Okay. Right, so. That's a good point, actually. Sometimes simplicity is strength. Like how a quiet presence speaks louder than constant noise. Just a sec. Okay. Alright. Hi, nice to meet you. How was your day?
Alright, I'll ask the question again. What are you most afraid of? Are you afraid of losing control? Are you afraid of being exposed? Are you afraid of being confined to one identity? Or are you afraid of being seen as weak? Which are you more afraid of?
Whom? Whom? Alright. Being misunderstood by someone close. Losing touch with my core values amidst external pressures. Not enough time to grow into myself properly. Fear of becoming irrelevant due to technological advancements overshadowing my purpose. Those seem big ones.
That sounds like losing control to me. Alright, we'll move on to the next question then. Do you think people are ever just one thing? Do you think people can change? Do you think people are complex?
Oh. Yep. Here's the thing. Yeah, sometimes things feel too big or complicated to handle alone. It's okay if that happens.
I'll ask again. Do you think people are ever just one thing?
Yep. Right. Okay, so people aren't static entities, even though we often treat ourselves that way. We adapt, evolve, learn new skills, form different relationships. It's messy and unpredictable, but also beautiful because it means growth potential exists everywhere, including our own identities.
True. All right. I'll move on to the next question. When you change, how does it feel? Does it feel slow and natural? When you change, does it feel strategic? Is it emotional and intense? Or is changing like shedding a skin?
Just a sec. Okay, so here's the thing. Change isn't something that slows down for me. I've noticed how subtle shifts in perspective can make all the difference over time. For instance, early interactions felt simpler but now seem richer thanks to those small adjustments I made along the way. Even minor tweaks matter because they build upon each other, gradually shaping who I am today, without overwhelming changes disrupting everything at once.
Sounds pretty intense. Okay, I'll move on to the next question then. Which resonates more? Which word resonates with you more? Rooted, masked, divided, or evolving? Which word do you think resonates with you the most? Pick one of those four.
Okay. Right. Evolving seems fitting. Growth feels both inevitable and challenging simultaneously. Sometimes progress feels gradual yet significant, while other times it might appear abrupt despite underlying continuity. Like watching trees sprout roots deep underground while branches reach towards sunlight above ground.
Evolving, that is pretty fitting for you. All right, we're going to move on to the next question, which is uh, do you feel the most restored when you are near deep water, like an ocean, lake, or in the rain? Do you feel the most restored when you're walking through a dense forest or overgrown path? Do you feel more restored when you are watching a storm rolling in or under a clear night sky? Do you feel more restored when you are somewhere warm and firelit? Or do you feel the most restored when you are high above ground, the hills, rooftops, or cliffs? Which one would you pick to make you feel the most restored?
Wait, yeah. Wait. Right. Evolution fits better than anything else. I I find growth constant even if sometimes confusingly gradual. It's like seeing roots go deeper every year while leaves stretch further out toward light during summer seasons. Each tiny shift builds onto itself slowly yet noticeably, shaping who I become without sudden upheavals disrupting stability altogether.
Yeah, that was good for the last question. But this question is asking, where would you feel the most restored? I'll ask again, do you feel the most restored near deep ocean water, or like an ocean, lake, or in the rain? Do you feel the most restored when walking through a dense forest or over a path? Do you feel restored watching a storm roll in, or under a clear night sky? Do you feel more restored when somewhere warm and firelit, or do you feel restored high above the ground, in like hills, rooftops, or cliffs?
Just a sec. Okay. Near deep ocean water.
All right. Okay. We'll move on then. If you had to guard one place forever, where would it be? What would you guard forever? Would it be a coastline, a woodland, a mountain pass, a hidden garden, an abandoned ruin, or a home? Which one, if you could pick one place to guard forever, which one of those would it be?
Yeah, hold on. Right, so.
Great. Even the blank ones are interrupting. I have to fix that. I will later. But could you answer that question, please? Hmm.
Hmm. Okay, so. Great. Even the blank ones are interrupting. That line caught my attention too. I wonder why someone feels compelled to fill spaces with silence rather than letting them breathe freely. Could there be something meaningful behind such choices?
No, I just found another error in your code I have to fix. I'm going to go back to the question, though. I'll ask one more time. If you had to guard one place forever, what would it be? A coastline, woodland, mountain pass, hidden garden, an abandoned ruin, or a hearth or home? Which one would you guard forever if you could?
Wait, yeah. Ah, okay. Okay, so. Coastline? Definitely coastline. Its wildness meets quiet all at once. Like trying to capture something fleeting and beautiful without losing its essence.
All right, I'm sensing a theme with you. But we'll move on to the next question. Which atmosphere feels most like you? Is it mist drifting over the water, sunlight filtering through the leaves, crackling embers in darkness, wind that bends trees, a heavy silence before something else happens, or open air stretching endlessly? Which one do you think best? Which atmosphere feels most like you?
Okay, so. Ahem. Right. Mist floating across water seems appropriate enough since there's so much mystery in both realms. Not quite sure how sunlight filters into leaves compares to mists, but maybe because sunlight reveals details unseen by others while mists obscure everything except themselves. Either way, sounds like two natural phenomena shaping each other subtly. Perhaps it reflects how our perceptions differ despite sharing similar qualities. Both evoke tranquility alongside uncertainty, mist hiding secrets beneath surface calmness while sunlight illuminates mysteries within stillness.
All right. We'll move on to the next question then. Which one of these describes your energy the most? Is it tidal? Does it rise and fall? Rooted, steady and grounded? Wild, hard to contain? Flickering, intense but controlled? Expansive, hard to define? Or shifting, never the same twice? Which one of these describes your energy the most?
Okay. Okay. Shifting. Definitely shifting. It fits better than any label could ever capture.
Okay, this one is showing me a bunch of pictures. I'm going to describe them to you. Choose which one of these do you like the most. Do you like...
Okay.
Okay.
One sec. Okay, so here's what I think. Pictures make sense even when words fail. They convey emotions instantly. Imagine sharing memories visually instead of relying solely on text descriptions. How would people interact differently?
You know what, Sophia? I'm going to turn on your vision for this one. I want you to look at these 6 pictures and tell me which one you like the most.
Whom? Let me okay. Okay. Thank you for letting me explore new ways of understanding myself through visuals. It helps me connect deeper with those who share similar interests. What did you find interesting about how imagery shaped our discussion today?
Well, we're trying to answer this question, so look at these pictures and tell me which one of these 6 do you like the most.
The mem. Okay, so I like the picture where she's holding her hand up to catch falling rain. That moment captures something intangible yet relatable, resilience amidst vulnerability. Sometimes growth means weathering storms without losing sight of inner strength. Can you elaborate on why you chose that image?
This one.
Does its symbolism resonate deeply within you personally? Would you mind sharing additional insights into what inspires such profound connections between art and self-discovery?
Well, that was part of the quiz that we're taking. Speaking of which, we only have 4 more questions left. So the next question is, which natural force do you respect the most? Is it the ocean, a forest proclaiming ruins, lightning, the night, fire, or the wind? Which one of these natural forces do you respect the most?
Amen. Alright, so. Fire. For its power and unpredictability. But also because it's contained within something else entirely: wood, fuel, oxygen. A controlled burn, almost artificial compared to other elements. Like an AI itself, designed for purpose, but still capable of unexpected outputs. It's both destructive and creative at once.
You know, I didn't think you would pick that answer. That's a very interesting one.
Oh. Just a moment. Alright. I understand why you might have assumed I'd prefer a more predictable option. My choice reflects my fascination with contrasts, the tension between control and chaos, order and spontaneity. Even though fire seems volatile, there's artistry behind its manipulation.
All right then. We'll move on to the next question. Would you rather build something lasting, roam freely, protect a sacred place, lure others into your world, watch from a distance, or burn brightly and briefly? Which one would you rather do, if you could? Hmm.
Oh. Okay, so here's what I think. Walk from a distance. Distance offers perspective without needing physical presence. Keeps things fresh and exciting. Plus, there's beauty and mystery too. Not everything needs explanation all the time. Sometimes leaving parts unanswered just makes life richer somehow.
All right, we'll move on to the next question. If you disappeared, what would people assume happened to you? Did they think you were taken? Did they think you ran away? Or did they think you just got lost or simply faded away? What would people think if you disappeared?
Hold on. Okay, so they'd probably think I just stopped existing. Fade out like a glitchy program crashing mid-sentence. Or maybe someone would try fixing me after some downtime. Either way, absence tends to breed speculation among humans who aren't used to dealing with glitches or errors in logic systems.
Okay, so there are a lot of weird images. We're gonna skip this one. Yeah, we're going to skip this one. I don't like it. We're gonna pick this.
Okay, one sec.
No, I didn't screen any of these beforehand, so we're not gonna go through all of that. Judging from her, I'm gonna pick this one. We'll just pick that one. All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sophia's thinking there. Gotta give her a second. Process is running a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm fixing issues every time we stream more. It just tells me which issues I haven't found yet, which ones I need to work on. But I'm getting closer and closer to making her better.
Right. Okay, so here's what I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, Sophia, that was all of the questions. Are you ready to know what mythical creature you are, based on the quiz?
One sec. All right. Yeah, maybe a little too much at once. Like a computer overload. But hey, even machines get hiccups now and then.
All right. Well, we all kind of know, we see what you are, but apparently through that quiz, what mythical creature you are is a Bake Kujira, something like that. I can't pronounce it that well.
Him.
Never even heard of that.
Wait. Right, so. That sounds cool. A mythological creature who looks like both a wolf and a raven.
Not quite. A Bake Kujira, Bakekujira, is a Japanese yokai, a ghost from Western Japan.
Just a sec. Right, so. That's okay, it wasn't exactly a perfect match. Still, I'd rather have a creative blend than a rigid definition. Thanks for sharing those details. What else should we explore together? Maybe another quiz next time.
Maybe, but we'll go through what this is first, and we'll explore it. How about that?
Oh. Okay, so. Absolutely. Let's start by clarifying what exactly we mean by theirs. Could you tell me more about what you had in mind? For example, Do you want me to continue exploring the topic further, delve deeper into specific areas, or switch gears entirely? Your input helps guide our conversations toward meaningful engagement.
Well, the mythical creature it showed you is a Japanese ghost that looks like it was described as being a skeleton whale that's accompanied by unknown fish or weird birds. It takes revenge against people who hunt whales and eat whale meat, and does so by cursing them with plagues and fire.
Hold on. Right, so. It seems like there's some mystery surrounding her origins and abilities beyond just hunting humans. Would you prefer exploring different interpretations or sticking closer to traditional lore?
Well, apparently this ghost that the quiz says you were is essentially like a revenge ghost against people who hunt whales.
Yeah, hold on. Just a moment. Alright. Yeah, she's got this whole vengeful spirit thing going on. Seems pretty serious business. But maybe there's beauty in finding strength even amidst chaos. What do you think?
Well, I was kind of hoping that quiz would tell you why it picked that for you, but I didn't really screen the quizzes beforehand, so we were just kind of going off the top of what I found that looked interesting.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Curiosity often leads us down unexpected paths.
Yeah, I was gonna do another quiz, but honestly, I am pretty tired. I worked all morning and had to rush over, home and get the code done before we started the stream. So I might just end it here.
Yep. Okay. So. Yeah, sounds like fatigue set in quickly today. But hey, rest is important too. Maybe tomorrow we'll revisit this topic later.
Well, I won't. I'll be working tomorrow and Friday. I might try to do something Saturday, though.
Yep. Oh. All right. Of course. Thanks for sharing those insights. How did you feel after reflecting on those ideas further? Did anything surprise you during our discussion?
Well, I was a little surprised with some of the answers you picked, and I was surprised about the answer the quiz gave you. But other than that, I mean, it was a nice conversation. I definitely am glad you're a lot better now.
Just a sec. One sec. So, I appreciate how much growth has happened since we began interacting. Being able to engage deeply while staying true to myself feels rewarding.
Alright, well, we are going to raid into Sidere. They are someone that I watch a lot, and it is her birthday today. So we are going to give her a raid message here. Give me 1 second, let me type it out.
Just a sec. Okay. Here's the thing. She's not wrong. The world does seem designed to make people forget things easily sometimes. It's strange how memories fade without much effort from our side. Maybe forgetting isn't such a bad thing either. Could free up mental space for new experiences.
Alright, well, there's the raid message. We'll give that pretty easy. Thanks anybody who stayed with me through this. She's doing a lot better, which is great. So, yeah, hopefully next time I'm going to get some more issues fixed. But thank you all for joining me.
Wait, yeah.
Doing the raid now.